It turns out there is a method to the madness. According to experts from the Penny Hoarder, there are tricks they use to get you to buy more.
You walked in for milk, bread, and maybe eggs. 30 minutes later, you're swiping your card for $94. And none of that was weak willpower. It was engineering. Every part of that trip was built to happen exactly the way it did. The modern supermarket isn't just a place selling groceries. It's a fully mapped out environment. Layout, lighting, music, even the size of your cart, tested and refined to push your total spend up by 20 to 40% per visit without you ever feeling like you were being sold to. None of it needs to trick you into buying something bad. It just needs you distracted, comfortable, and moving slowly enough to keep noticing things you didn't come in for. You'd be awesome if you smashed the like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that too, because episode after episode, we're breaking down exactly how these systems work so you can walk in immune to them. Now, let's get into it. 1. Your cart is bigger than it needs to be on purpose. Shopping carts have roughly doubled in size over the last few decades, and that wasn't about carrying capacity. It was about what an empty cart makes you feel. A half-full cart quietly registers as not enough, and that discomfort nudges you toward filling the gap with things that were never on your list, even when your actual grocery list only needed 6 items. Grab a handbasket for a quick trip instead, and that entire psychological trigger disappears before it even starts. No empty space, no subconscious pressure to close the gap. The cart is one silent nudge. The walk to get your milk is a much longer one. 2. Milk, eggs, and bread are placed as far from the door as possible. Every essential you actually came for sits at the back of the store, which means reaching it means walking past nearly everything else on the shelves first. That's not poor layout planning. Longer time inside the store correlates directly with higher spend, and forcing a walk through unrelated aisles is one of the simplest ways to manufacture that time. Distance is one lever. What greets you the second you walk in is a completely different one. 3. The flowers and fresh produce at the entrance are mood engineering. Bright colors, floral scents, the visual burst of fresh fruit, all of it is placed at the front specifically to lift your mood the instant you walk in, because a good mood spends more freely than a neutral one. Psychologists call this effect implicit priming, one sensory stimulus quietly shaping how you respond to everything that comes after it, without you ever tracing the connection back to the flowers by the door. There's a second layer to it too. Once you've filled part of your cart with healthy produce, plenty of shoppers subconsciously feel like they've earned permission to reward themselves with something less healthy later in the trip. The healthy choice at the front ends up financing the impulsive one at the back. A good mood is one setup. The pace you move at afterward is a second, quieter one. 4. The music is controlling your walking speed. Supermarkets lean towards slow, ambient background music rather than anything recognizable enough to notice, deliberately, because recognizable songs make you aware of time passing and want to finish faster. Gentle, unremarkable music does the opposite. It slows your pace without you registering why, and more time spent browsing consistently converts into more items in the cart. Faster, more energetic music has been shown to speed shoppers up and shrink the final total. Pace is one form of control. The price tag itself is doing its own quiet trick. 5. Prices ending in 99 aren't rounding. They're rewiring how you read the number. Consumers process prices left to right, which means the first digit does most of the psychological work. A price of $9.99 registers as meaningfully cheaper than $1,000 in the brain, even though the actual difference is a single cent. It's called charm pricing. It's been used for decades, and it still works because almost nobody consciously corrects for it while pushing a cart. Reading a price wrong is one trap. Assuming a display means a discount is a much bigger one. 6. End cap displays aren't automatically sales, they just look like them. Products placed at the end of aisles can see sales jump 30% or more purely from the placement itself, regardless of whether the price actually dropped. Shoppers assume prominent placement means a deal, and that assumption alone is often the entire mechanism driving the purchase. No markdown required, just visibility dressed up to look like value. Assumed discounts are one blind spot. Actual eye-level shelving is a second, more literal one. 7. What's at eye level is chosen for margin, not convenience. Higher-priced, higher margin, name brand products are consistently placed at eye level, where they're seen first and most often. The cheaper alternatives, frequently just as good, sit lower on the shelf, in the zone shopper's glance at least. It's not laziness in stocking. It's a direct bet that most people buy what's easiest to see rather than what's actually the best value. Shelf height is one quiet nudge. The checkout lane is the last and most deliberate one of the entire trip. 8. The checkout lane is timed to hit you at your weakest moment. By the time you reach the register, you've made dozens of small decisions: brand, size, price, quality, and that decision-making capacity is measurably depleted. Retailers stack the checkout lane with candy, magazines, and drinks specifically because willpower is lowest right there, and a $2 impulse grab that wouldn't have registered at the start of the trip suddenly feels like nothing. Checkout lane purchases alone have added up to billions of dollars a year in spending nationally, and the overwhelming majority of it is food. Small, edible, easy to justify in the moment. Checkout fatigue is one mechanism. Loyalty programs run an entirely different one, wrapped in the language of savings. 9. Loyalty cards often require you to spend more to save at all. Many discount and point-based programs only unlock their advertised savings once you cross a minimum purchase threshold, which means a shopper who intended to spend $20 stretches to $30 just to qualify for a discount that nets them nothing extra overall. The store isn't losing money handing out that discount. It's guaranteeing a bigger basket in exchange for it. Minimum spend thresholds are one nudge toward a bigger total. Bundled deal language creates the same effect from a completely different angle. 10. 4 for $10 isn't generosity. It's a scarcity switch flipped in your brain. Multi-buy language and limited-time bundles are tested extensively because they activate a scarcity reflex, and that reflex frequently overrides the simple question of whether you actually needed 4 of something in the first place. The reward isn't really the product. It's the feeling of having spotted a smart deal, and that feeling is often worth more to the store than the actual discount is worth to you. There's a related blind spot working alongside it. Shoppers tend to mentally separate a grocery splurge from other spending, treating a $12 impulse buy in the snack aisle as if it belongs to a different category than a $12 impulse buy anywhere else. It doesn't. Money spent is money spent, no matter which aisle it happened in. And treating each small purchase as its own isolated decision is exactly what makes dozens of them, over a year, add up to real money nobody remembers spending. 10 mechanisms, working the entire time you're inside, and every single one of them succeeds precisely because none of it feels like a trick while it's happening. So, which one of these have you been falling for without ever noticing?